Welcome, focused learners, to this explainer. Today we're breaking down the absolute core lessons from Google's latest AI Essentials course. Productivity expert Jeff Su actually reviewed and distilled this entire course, and we're basically looking directly at his playbook. We're going to extract his 5 core takeaways to help you build a really solid, foundational understanding of artificial intelligence. So let's get into it. To actually get the certificate, Jeff had to spend 5 hours and $49 out of his own pocket to get through the curriculum. But hey, you're in exactly the right place right now because we're bypassing that entire time and financial investment. Instead, we're going to extract the most critical, actionable takeaways right here, right now. You're getting the absolute highest value insights in just a fraction of the time. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the tiered learning arc we'll follow to build that strong AI foundation. First up, Section 1, Types of AI Tools. Then, Section 2, Pro Prompting Techniques. Next, Section 3, The Limits of AI. And we'll wrap it all up with Section 4, The Final Verdict. Section 1, Types of AI Tools. So, the very first major takeaway from the course is simply defining the broad categories of AI tools currently out on the market. It really starts with understanding standalone tools versus integrated features. Standalone tools are, well, independent apps you visit directly to get a job done. Think of your general-purpose chatbots, your ChatGPTs, Claudes, Perplexities, or specialized visual apps like Midjourney. They operate completely independently. On the flip side, we have integrated features. These are built directly into the everyday software you're already using to enhance your workflow. Like, say you're drafting a post in Google Docs. Instead of copying and pasting that text all the way over to a standalone app, you can just use the integrated Gemini AI feature right there inside your document to punch up your writing. Then there's the third category, a custom AI solution. This is basically an application tailor-made to solve one very specific problem. Now, if you don't have a technical background, you might just assume that custom AI solutions are incredibly complex and only for hardcore coders. But actually, well-designed custom solutions require little to no technical know-how from the user. For example, picture a custom sales tool that can instantly ingest data from, say, 200 different clients, magically factor in seasonality and industry trends, and then effortlessly rank those clients so a salesperson knows exactly how to prioritize their time. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer power of custom solutions in the real world. Think about this. Johns Hopkins University actually developed an AI system with one sole objective: detecting sepsis in patients. By implementing this custom AI solution, they leaped their diagnostic accuracy from a mere 2 to 5% all the way up to an average of 40%. I mean, that is a massive, life-saving real-world impact from just one tailor-made tool. Section 2, Pro Prompting Techniques. All right, now we're moving into the application phase of this explainer. We're going to combine takeaways 2, 3, and 4 here. The second big takeaway is all about surfacing what's called implied context. Now, implied context is that background information you intuitively know in your head, but that the AI absolutely needs explicitly stated to avoid giving you super generic, unhelpful outputs. It's kind of like a vegetarian restaurant analogy, right? If your vegetarian friend asks you for restaurant recommendations, you instinctively know to suggest meat-free spots. But an AI doesn't know your friend at all. It needs you to explicitly state that preference. Or think about asking for a raise. You know you were a top performer who got a 10% raise last year, but if you don't actually type out that implied context and feed it to the AI, your negotiation script is going to be incredibly generic. So the crucial point here is knowing when to use different levels of prompting, which brings us to takeaway 3. In AI lingo, the word shot literally just means examples. So 0 shot means you use a prompt with absolutely 0 examples. For instance, asking an AI to write a pickup line for Bumble, which, as Jeff jokingly notes in his video, is a completely hypothetical scenario he totally never participated in. 1 shot means you include one single example of a pickup line that, say, worked for a friend. And few shot means you provide 2 or more successful examples. As you can probably guess, the more relevant examples you provide the AI tool, the vastly more relevant and tailored its output is going to be. Takeaway 4 introduces us to chain of thought prompting. This one is absolutely essential for complex tasks. It's the process of dividing a single massive task into much more manageable, bite-sized steps. Doing this helps the large language model actually produce accurate and consistent results. Basically, this technique prevents the AI from getting completely overwhelmed by a massive request and losing the thread of what you actually need it to do. Let's walk through a practical cover letter scenario so you can see this in action. Instead of just taking your resume and the job description, dumping them into the chatbot, and demanding a complete letter right then and there, you break it down. Step 1. You ask the AI to write an attention-grabbing hook based on your resume. You review it, you tweak that hook. Then, step 2, you paste that back in and ask it for the body paragraph. Then, step 3, you do the exact same thing for the closing paragraph. By feeding the AI one section at a time and kind of rinsing and repeating, you'll yield a far, far better and more accurate result than demanding the whole shebang up front. Let's move on to section 3, the limits of AI. This brings us to our fifth takeaway, which focuses on where these powerful tools actually fall short. Broadly speaking, there are 3 major technical limitations you really need to be aware of. First is biased underlying training data. Simply put, if a text-to-image model is trained exclusively on minimalist graphics, it literally will not be able to produce flashy, bold designs. It just doesn't know how. Second, we have information cutoff dates. A lot of AI models have a hard cutoff date for their training data, meaning they just straight up don't know about recent events and cannot give you accurate answers about them. And third, we have hallucinations. Now, hallucinations are defined as AI outputs that are straight up factually inaccurate. Interestingly, though, sometimes this can actually be a feature and not a bug. If you're brainstorming wild new ideas, a hallucination might actually spark a creative angle you hadn't considered at all. But at other times, hallucinations just perpetuate entirely false information, which means you absolutely must double-check your answers. Understanding hallucinations is critical, especially when we're dealing with what we call high-stake tasks. These are situations where factual accuracy is absolutely non-negotiable. For example, say you're asking an AI for supplement or vitamin recommendations based on your personal health goals. You really must heed this warning. Never blindly trust AI for high-stakes decisions regarding your personal health, your finances, or your safety. Always, always verify the facts. Finally, Section 4, the final verdict. Was actually evaluate if this Google course is worth your time based on the source's review. And let's start with who it is not for. If you are already a daily AI user, or maybe someone looking for really deep technical case studies and highly specific examples, you should honestly just skip this. The examples provided in the course can be pretty vague. For instance, the course references a customer service case study that supposedly used AI to decrease response times, but it completely failed to explain exactly how the AI was grounded to prevent those hallucinations we just talked about, or even how the customer service workers were trained to use the system in the first place. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it highlights a massive pro of the course. Its brilliant use of simple visual analogies to explain complex technical topics to beginners. For example, they beautifully analogize an AI model to a car's engine. It's what provides the raw underlying capabilities. Meanwhile, the AI tool is the car itself. It's the actual vehicle you interact with to complete your task and reach your destination. It's a great way to frame it. Let's rapid fire a few more of the course's benefits. It's taught by established Google experts, making the information highly credible. As we just saw, it's excellent for visual learners. It features interactive, graded assignments that actually force you to pay attention, mostly because you need an 80% to pass. It also includes a really well-curated AI tools glossary. And here's a massive bonus tip. You can actually unlock this AI Essentials course for free if you enroll in Google's project management certification on Coursera. Talk about a win-win. To summarize all of this course is a fantastic asset for beginners and visual learners who are seeking a legitimate certificate to maybe attract some prospective employers. Together today, we've explored the different types of tools out there, the art of pro-prompting, and the crucial limitations of AI you've got to watch out for. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Is it time to build your foundational AI playbook, or will you let the AI revolution pass you by?